Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for joining us today. In 2023, Congress passed the most significant permitting reform in over 40 years through the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the FRA. This legislation shortened review times, limited what qualifies as a major federal action, and it codified the one federal decision framework. A central goal of these reforms was to provide greater certainty and greater timeliness for project applicants, ensuring agencies arrive at decisions without unnecessary delays. FRA clarified that the 2-year shot clock, if you will, for completing an environmental impact statement begins when an agency determines that an EIS is required for a proposed federal action. Any extension beyond that timeline must be done, quote, in consultation with the applicant, unquote, ensuring agencies don't unilaterally drag out the process. Mr. Phipps, despite exceeding the 2-year deadline for the EIS, did the Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation and Enforcement consult with Signal Peak in good faith when it extended the EIS schedule to 2026?
No, they did not.
In your testimony, you mentioned that OSM undertook additional studies during the EIS process, and despite FRA making clear that agencies are not required to conduct such studies unless they're truly necessary. In your view, did OSM use these additional studies as a means to delay the issuance of the EIS?
Yes, I believe they did.
And then finally, I want to touch on the legal challenges. The DC District Court dismissed your suit, saying that it wasn't ripe because the original 2024 deadline hadn't passed yet, even though the agency had already amended its timeline to 2026. Do you believe Congress should revisit this issue in future permitting reform efforts?
Yes, I think that would be helpful for operators. It's like getting your midterm report and you're failing your class, and you say, let's wait till the end of the semester to see if I really fail rather than changing course, because OSM did not change course.
And then specific to that, should project applicants be allowed to challenge unreasonable delays before the deadline is passed, especially when an agency publicly revises those timelines?
Yes, I think they should be.
Okay, thank you. Mr. West, the National Landslide Preparedness Act additionally reauthorizes the 3D elevation program, also known as 3DEP, a complete topographical map of the U.S. that is important in not only landslide preparedness, but flood mapping, forestry, and infrastructure planning as well. As the state geologist from Alaska, do you see a 3DEP as playing an essential role, potentially in combination with other programs such as Earth MRI at USGS to help identify mineral deposits?
Absolutely. Two different pieces there, landslides and mineral deposits. 3DEP has proven tremendously valuable, and landslides basically happen where we have steep terrain, right? That's a prerequisite. And the 3DEP program has made it possible to map vast areas and to unleash, algorithms, computer technologies to identify those areas that are most likely and most prone to landsliding. So what they really do is allow you to move from kind of one person in the field doing field investigations to covering large areas. And the same analogy, I think, holds for mineral exploration.
I hope I'm not stealing questions from my colleague, Mr. Begich, but do you have examples of that in Alaska where that's happened? Or where you've used 3DEP?
I'm a seismologist. I can't comment on exactly which data sets were used, but the USGS has just recently completed a widespread survey of landslide risk around the Prince William Sound area, which was premised very heavily on topographic data sets. I am not in a position to know whether or not 3DEP, which portions of that were 3DEP informed. I'd be happy to follow up.
Okay.